Hey everyone, it's Steve from the Dusty Boot again, and today we're going to talk about getting water in the winter. Alright, well during the winter we're in a little bit different situation as far as water goes than during other season camping. First of all, most of the lakes and streams are frozen, so it's hard to get water from them. Even if they're not frozen, if you're using a water filter or something like that, your filter's going to freeze up while you're not using it, so it's not really a great option. But fortunately, when you're winter camping, you're completely surrounded by water. It's just in a frozen form. So what we're going to talk about today is melting that water down to get, or melting that snow down to get drinking water, and some things to consider when you're doing that. We'll start by taking a look at our setup here. We got our stove pad, our pot we're going to use to boil water, water bottle we're going to put it into, and of course you see it's all in this nice, awesome looking kitchen. If you want to see a little bit more about how to make one of these, go ahead and check out this link here for a video about that. The other thing I just wanted to mention real quick is this is a pretty simple process that I'm going to talk about, but you're going to spend a lot of time doing this. Winter camping, this is probably the thing you're going to spend more time doing than anything else, is just standing around boiling water. So learn it well and get used to it. Let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is just go through real quick about lighting a stove, just for anyone who has never lit a white gas stove before. First thing you're going to notice here is I have a stove pad, which is just a piece of wood or really anything that's just going to prevent the stove from sinking down into the snow as it gets hot. So I'm going to go ahead and pressurize my stove. I've got it all the connections done. I've made sure that the valves are all completely closed. So I'm going to pressurize it. That feels about good. Since this is a Dragonfly and it's got the two valves, I'm going to go ahead and just open this valve on the pump all the way. And then I'm going to slowly open the actual stove valve until just a little bit of fuel comes out. And I'm going to go ahead and light the stove. Right, so we've got our fuel burning here. We're letting the stove heat up to prime it. One other thing that I forgot to mention that you do want to be mindful of during the winter is white gas has a very low freezing temperature. So if it's really cold outside, especially if it's like below zero, this bottle is going to be very, very cold, so you don't want to touch that without gloves, or you can just kind of like flash freeze your hands. So our stove is primed, and we're going to light it. I'm going to keep it on kind of low here so you can hear me over the sound of the Dragonfly. It's a pretty loud stove. So now we're going to go ahead and make our water. The big thing, it's a pretty self-explanatory process, but the big thing you want to make sure of is to not burn your water. It sounds kind of weird to burn water, but if you just put snow right into this hot pan, it'll actually char the snow and you'll have burnt water. It tastes exactly like it's burnt. So the way to solve that is just dump a little bit of water in there to begin with, and then you can go ahead and collect your snow and add it a little bit at a time. Another thing to be careful of when you're collecting snow is you do want to try to find kind of clean snow. For example, you want to make sure you're not getting snow from the area you're using to go to the bathroom. That'd be bad. Okay, so just grab your snow, just add it in there a little bit at a time, wait for it to melt. That way you're not going to burn your water. And then just keep doing that, keep adding some in, waiting for it to melt, adding some in, until you've got your pot filled up and it starts to boil. Then you've got nice, clean, sanitized water that you can drink or use to cook or use for a hot water bottle or whatever you want to do with it. Well, there you have it. It's not really a difficult process, but something that maybe you haven't thought of before. Big thing again is make sure you're using your stove safely and correctly, and make sure you don't burn your water, and make sure you're using clean snow. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.